think we're ready to go. Hey guys, what's up? How you guys doing? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Today we are going to be talking about maintenance. I had a video, my last video, it was up like 2 or 3 weeks, I forget how long ago it was, but I put it up there, running out of ideas. I asked you guys, is there anything you guys want to see from me? And you guys gave me some suggestions. I need to get to the track for a few of them. I need to find some time and do it because I do miss making these videos. One of you guys gave me a suggestion about like maintenance for the B6 and how I clean my car after a race. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, so we're going to see what I can do. But I'll start with the first thing and say that after a race, I just spray down the car with some compressed air. My track has an air compressor, so I just hit it with some compressed air. It gets all of the carpet fuzz off of it. There's usually a lot of fuzz in the back here, sometimes in the chassis. Blow that out real quick, the suspension components. I do that not just because I like to keep my cars clean, but also it helps you see like if things are leaking, wait for this train to pass. My diff in the rear was leaking. The only way that I knew that it was leaking was because when I sprayed it off, there was still some carpet fuzz sticking to the back of the chassis over here. So yeah, it just helps you to spot things like that. And that's really all I do for cleaning. For carpet, for AstroTurf, I wish I could say I did the same thing, but oftentimes I forget to do that. Probably isn't that good because there are some dirt pockets in my AstroTurf track. Like the owner does the best to like leaf blow it and stuff, but there still is some sand and stuff. This is kind of bothering me that this label keeps peeling off. I don't know why. Okay. He does his best to keep the track clean, but there's still some dirt. So the dirt gets on the car, and you should also air compress the dirt off of the car after each race. Yeah. I do have a video on how to clean your vehicle deeper. Yeah, and maybe I'll do a carpet version of that as well. But so maintenance and how often do I rebuild and things. So, different day. I came back from the track, still have the wheels on it. I was in the middle of editing this and I was like, this really is sucking. I probably should reshoot this. I could probably do a whole nother video on maintenance, but some of the few things that I change out on the car is like the front end. And when I say front end, I mean like bulkhead, suspension arms, ball studs if they need to be replaced, some caster blocks if they need to be replaced, some hubs if they need to be replaced, and screws. Screws can get bent, which can throw off your different like suspension measurements. Ball studs, they can actually, I don't know, with the 18T the ball studs would actually wear out and get smaller, but I don't know if the big ball studs do that. But the caster blocks, they can start to wear out in their hinge points, so that there's more slop, which makes the steering maybe not as responsive. You can definitely get some slop at the hinge pins. You can definitely get some slop in the hinge pins of the suspension arms. So occasionally you want to switch those out. So that's what I mean when I replace the front end. I usually do that when I put on brakes. The car wants to pull to one side, left or right, but yeah, it wants to pull to one side. Probably means that I've waited too long. But I find with this car, this car and the B5M, let's say it pulls to the left when I put on brakes. And I try to rebuild it close to after I realize that, because what I find that I do is that when I put on brakes and let's say it pulls to the right, I find myself putting in a little bit of left steering input so that it tracks straight when I put on brakes. But then it's a bad thing, because then when I rebuild the front end, I put on brakes, I'm still used to turning left, and so I smash into walls and stuff, so that's no good. So that's what I do. That's when I rebuild it. Another thing I rebuild is shocks. I really haven't come up with a scheduling time for shocks. Usually I'm like, it's been a while, I probably should replace the shocks. I guess you could say if there's a lot of fluid, if you find a lot of fluid in your shocks when you open them up, then it's a good time to replace it, to replace the O-rings on the bottom. If there is oil on the shaft when the shaft comes out of the shock body, then you've waited too long. Then it definitely needs to be replaced. Needs to be rebuilt. I wish I had an exact time of when I rebuild the shocks, but it's usually whenever I'm changing out oils and I realize, wow, this is really dark, I should rebuild the shocks. So that's usually when I rebuild the shocks. That's about the only things that I've needed to rebuild. Oh, and the diff. I usually rebuild the diff whenever I start to get diff issues. Yes, it started leaking once. I made a little video about that if you guys want to know how to stop a leaky diff, or at least a leaky associated two-wheel drive buggy diff. No, it also works with the B64. I know it's kind of specific, but it's a little tip. I'm going to put that over in the little I section up there so you guys can check that out. But there was another time that I was getting like some crunching problems with the diff, so I would like, you would turn it like this and it would crunch. I know I probably waited too long again. So then I actually replaced, I call them spider gears, but I'm not sure what they're actually called, but those little gears in the diff. Actually replaced those, replaced the shims, rebuilt the whole thing, and it worked out fine. So those are the only things that I've rebuilt on this car. And other maintenance things, like bearings, I usually replace bearings once they start crunching. Do I clean bearings? I guess not. I guess I waited too long to answer that question. I used to clean bearings. I don't know why I don't. I just haven't had to. These bearings don't get dirty. Maybe it's because I drive on carpet and AstroTurf. Replacing the wing. I usually replace the wing when it gets pretty torn up. I need to replace this one pretty soon. So, I think that's it. Hopefully this was a good video for you guys. If you have a B6, when do you replace stuff? How do you know when to replace, or at least just sharing what I have replaced and when I replaced them. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. Turn on my post notifications so you guys can be notified every time that I upload something. And, whoops, I will see you guys in the next video or at the track.